So, just as a matter of joke, I'm very close to many of the incubators and accelerators. I call them all masturbators. Again, keeping that theme going. Elicit laughs, smiles. But think about it. Most of the accelerators that are friends of mine are about, let's get them ready for showtime. Steve Blank has weighed in on this and said, it's not about presenting to you why they're a great company or how they're going to be great executors. It's about showtime. And that's, again, unfortunate. So we've created this lustful environment where we just want people to show off. But we know that there's more to it, but we don't get a chance to find out anymore. When we look at the statistics, group angel investing works better. Groups, the wisdom of crowds. Now, New York Angels, we're about 150 members. We have a fee yearly, hard to get into, but we challenge each other. The Israelis get it, right? The reason they're Startup Nation. You can't get away with not being criticized in Israel for your idea. You're taunted that it's a sucky idea every day. It's not going to work. Here, we don't do that. But in a group, the best part of the New York Angels, and I have some members here now, they know that we listen to each other because we care about what's going on. We want to share what we think. I don't get individual angel investors. Who do they talk to? Who tells them they're wrong? Who challenges their thinking? It's really weird. You need that. It's very, very helpful. But in Israel, they do that all the time. But the average number of companies we look at on a monthly basis in Angels is about 200. They're reviewed online, and if the statistics are known, we invest in about 2.3% of companies that we see. We're not a fund. Every member has a choice to invest in any company they see. Again, I don't believe in funds. I think there's slippery slopes. You've got to spend the money. There's only one VC in history that I know that's ever been asked and answered the question, how many companies did you invest in this year? With the answer, none. A VC whose LPs are expecting them to find the company that's going to be the next great company is supposed to find them and invest in them. But there's only one VC, Fred Wilson, who one year said, I don't see anything I like. We can get away with that. That's the problem of the time. They have to invest the money. And unfortunately, in angel worlds, if you're not in New York or in big urban centers, you don't have a lot of deal flow. And you end up choosing your tallest midgets. The best of what you've got, which is really unfortunate. Because you need a lot of deal flow. Don't even get me started on what's happening with equity crowdfunding. In a larger sense, let me be sure that you already know this if I'm telling you something you already know. Venture capital firms don't make money. Can we repeat that? VCs don't make money. You all knew that, right? Right, yeah? 6% of the venture capital firms return 95% of the money. And if you take out the hits, because it's a hit business, no one's making any money. But hey, Brian, have patience. Have patience. It takes time. It takes more time. But crowdfunding, oh my God, the oldest crowdfunding site in the world is this one. And they just decided to review their outcomes. Not too good. Well, I decided to write a book discussing warmly, thoughtfully, the things I thought were important for an entrepreneur to understand about angels. And a lot of what I'm describing to you is in there, but the most important thing you need to know, and I can leave on this note, and I don't have to share with you any more slides, is that the rule is smart money investing in smart, scalable businesses. That's it. Are we done? That's it. That's it. That's your mantra. Smart money investing in smart, scalable businesses. If you can do that, you're golden. From my research, 6 months after an investment is made by an angel, they regret it. They regret it. Can you imagine making an investment and half of the time you regret it 6 months later? What kind of way is that to live? That's depressing. By the way, my interest here is to make you happy, not the ground. But it was, as I said, to deal with the issue of deception. We deceive ourselves. We deceive ourselves in a lustful way, in a FOMO way, in an unfortunately unprofessional way. I am an optimist. If you consider yourselves professional agents, you will in fact do fine, thank you. But you've got to be able to do all the things that matter. So what are the things they regret? What are the things they, overly optimistic financial projections. Wow, big numbers. I'm excited about that. All these deals it sounds like you're getting, wow, your pipeline is full. Oh my goodness. Trust but verify. Business model flawed. Well, there are some businesses that don't have models. Those are the lottery plays. So they don't need to be in a position to have a model that's going to actually produce $1 of income too soon. Startup management, wrong people, they just met. Or they didn't know how to work together. Or they didn't have teammanship, as I describe in my book. People say it's the right team. I like to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner with the companies I invest in. I want to find out about what makes them tick. I want to find about how they work together. I want to see how they finish each other's sentences. A professional angel investor will take the time to do that. Yes, I know not everybody has the time to do that. But if you want to really do this well, you have to subscribe to the notion that there's a professional way to do it. And that's spending time with the startup founders to see what they're made of. But I gotta tell you, I invested in a company, the CTO left 6 weeks later. That happens. I'm not sure if anything I did would have recognized that, but there's always that downside. Their strategy, go-to-market strategy was wrong. We never look really at business plans, so it's hard to know whether or not the nature of their go-to-business strategy is as solid as it should be. But we do ask questions about understanding that product market fit thing. And if they're inside the head, I'm the marketing guy, so I want to know they're inside the head of the customer. So I'll ask them the kinds of tough questions about what their customer is thinking and how much they know about their marketplace. When I serve a presentation, I like to say from a company that was in the birch box of seasonings, or the birch box of, I guess it was like salt and pepper and stuff. I said, can you name the top seasonings? Top 5, we couldn't. But I was a business he was in. That's a pertinent question. It tells me how much they care about knowing what they need to know about their business, and certainly in that case it was not. Or the deal terms and the valuations were bad. I have it on the slide, so I want to go ahead. Deal terms. How many of you have studied deal terms? How many? So those who have studied deal terms probably know that you should never do a convertible note. But then everybody tells me, but Brian, that's all they're showing to us are convertible notes. Do you all know the reasons why a convertible note is investor unfriendly?
No valuation.
No, they have caps.
No.
Well, for a while they didn't. But there is no, except for practical reasons, I just don't have the time. The convertible note was created from convertible bridge note. The word bridge is conveniently left out of it. It was a practical, very useful tool. I used it. A convertible bridge note says, I need money, I'm getting an A, it's coming up, it's right there in front of me, I can see it, it's pretty close. I know it's going to happen. I need a bridge note to get me there, 3-4 months, maybe at the most. But the lawyers, everybody, got all confused. They said we need something simpler, cheaper, and faster, and they created the convertible note. Well, if I went through the list of things that are not in a convertible note that hurt the investor, most entrepreneurs would bristle, because they don't understand that their responsibility is to you, the investor. Their responsibility is to align themselves with you, to give you the opportunity to make money. Things like pro rata rights, information rights, things that really matter to you are not in most of the convertible notes that I see, 90% of them. And yet you, as unprofessional, or maybe some of you are professional investors, allow it to continue because that's all you've got. I wanted angel investors to go out on strike. But you can learn about a lot of this. Deal terms make a big difference. And when you understand the larger picture of what the average company sells for when they do an M&A, and you realize you've got a valuation that's absurdly high, and then you realize that when you go get that A round after you give the C round, and the A is going to give you a haircut down to a $6 million for whatever, maybe a $10 million valuation, then you say to yourself, why didn't I listen to Brian? But again, let me make this very clear. my interpretation of what matters in a deal term sheet is not only investor friendly, but it's also entrepreneur responsible. It is not. I said 100% of my interest is the entrepreneur. Investing without due diligence is certainly, without question, unprotected sex. You don't know what you're getting. If you don't know enough about doing proper due diligence, then don't do the deal. Then you're going into it blind. We run through a bunch of these. Such a great idea, but is that idea, remember I gave you the symbol, right? It's got to be scalable, exitable good business. I love debating the issue about exits, and I'll get into that in a minute. Way too much spray and pray investing. Sounds Uber-like, I'll do it. But that's what we're getting caught up, the sex appeal of it all, the FOMO of it all. I've got to be in it. Here's my money, take it. It captivates you. Even government has been taken by it. You know, in Detroit, where they figured they had to bring in venture capital investors, they finally came to the realization that they're not getting any returns. Companies are failing. They've begun to realize the risk is just too high. About a year and a half ago, I did talk to the Columbia Entrepreneur Organization, and I wanted to test out something. I wanted to test out. It's all about keeping your attention. Is it keeping your attention? Great. All right. Great. It's the show, right? All right. I asked the entrepreneurs in the room, I wanted to test this out. Are we being too nice to you? Colin. Are we being too nice to you? Are we the problem? This is so important for me to get across. Are we the problem? Are we the investors because of this? Are we being too nice to you? You're such a nice entrepreneur. Your mother should be so proud of you. Is there too much of that going on? And the answer is, of course there is. We're afraid to say anything in this world today about being an entrepreneur that sounds mean. The early days of angel investing, if I said something that sounded like I was critical, they'd tweet about it and say Brian was mean to me. But we have this responsibility not to coddle. And there's so much coddling going on. You know it, right? You know it. Am I telling you something you don't know? It is not good for the entrepreneur to coddle them. There's professional support. There's our responsibility to help. But we don't have the responsibility to coddle them. Oh, now here's the next problem. Passion sucks. So when I talk to universities and I go around talking to lots of angel groups, they say, passion? Everybody has said passion is the most important thing. We've used this word as this, because it's so emotional and sexual and lustful, we've used this word. Unfortunately, as you know, passion is blind. It's like operating in the dark. I talk to these kids and they say, Brian, I don't know if I've got this passion anymore. That's a great idea, but I don't know if I'm not passionate about it anymore. It's like gas. You know, it just runs through you. So passion is a bad word for most of the startups. It's great for social entrepreneurs. That's a fine thing. That's where it belongs. But it's rare that it belongs where it is at the sort of the front of the pack. They're so passionate about the business they're in. Do they know anything about the business they're in? No, but they're passionate. They're going to learn.